JJ, welcome to Breakdown. We ready to talk some SEC, Big Ten, football. Ready to do it?
Yeah, let's change it up and talk some football.
Let's talk some football. All right, SEC, Big Ten. JJ, let's start out with last week and your projections.
Okay.
Not a bad week for you last week.
Well, I went 0 for the previous week, so I went 5-1, and the only one I missed wasn't a Big Ten or SEC game. It was our wild card, so I'll take undefeated for the SEC and Big Ten.
Okay. Not bad. I was 3-3.
Okay.
Okay, but doesn't compare to 5-1. Let's talk about the ones we made last week. Penn State, Minnesota. Penn State was a 4.5 point favorite.
Yeah.
You took Penn State.
I did. I figured that they needed to make a statement after what Michigan did to them the week prior, and a statement they made.
They did indeed. Ohio State and Iowa. Ohio State was a 29-point favorite.
Iowa was very competitive.
You took Ohio State.
As did you.
Yes.
Iowa was very competitive defensively, but Iowa has, I think, they have one of the worst offenses. They have one of the worst offenses I know in the conference in the last 30 years. And one of the historically worst offenses in the Big Ten. And, I think the defense could only do so much. I think it got demoralizing when I saw, the offense unable to move the ball.
And Ohio State's not ashamed to run the score because they were passing deep balls late into the game. Still going for the home run ball.
Yeah, I mean, when your eyes are on the prize of a different sort, you're not really worried about the game in front of you. You're trying to get ready for the college football playoff. I understand why you'd want to get as many reps as you can.
Let's talk the other Big Ten game. Purdue was a 2-point favorite at Wisconsin. Wisconsin had looked, in my mind, pretty bad this year. Wisconsin won the game.
Yeah. Well, Purdue was very fortunate in certain games. Unfortunate against Penn State, but fortunate in some other games. And Purdue hasn't beaten Wisconsin in, 10 years?
Okay. So you were right with that one. Let's go to the SEC.
Okay.
Mississippi at LSU.
We both had LSU.
LSU is a really good team. Tennessee killed them. Other than that, they lost to Florida State, but LSU is getting on track. Their quarterback is beginning to click.
Yeah, I wouldn't go so far as to say they're a really good team. I say that they're a good team. Really good, I wouldn't go that far.
I'm going to go that far, but, time will tell.
We will see. They can't take as many sacks as they take. I know that. But we both had that LSU game.
Yeah. Alabama. They were giving 21 points home against Mississippi State last week. Mississippi State was coming up a big win.
Yeah, that one we split on. You had Mississippi State covering the 21. I had Alabama. I want to say congrats to Mike Leach. He scored his first offensive touchdown in Tuscaloosa. This is his fourth time going to Tuscaloosa, and they hadn't scored an offensive touchdown in Mike Leach's tenure. So congratulations to him. He finally got a touchdown.
Sound like Nick Saban got their air raid defense down pretty pat, huh?
Well, I think he scored the touchdown with less than 2 minutes to go. So, I think he does have it down.
Okay. The one you lost, JJ.
Yeah, Syracuse and Clemson.
We went at two undefeated teams.
Mm-hmm.
Syracuse was home. They were giving 13.5 points. I'm sorry, Clemson was home, and Clemson was giving 13.5 points. You took Clemson to cover. I took Syracuse and the points. Syracuse
covered.
They covered. They could have won.
Should have, if you ask some people.
Could have won.
But there's some officiating issues with that. But Clemson had to bench their 5-star quarterback DJU just to get that one out. So good for Clemson.
Let's get on to the big week that's ahead of us, JJ. Let's start with the SEC.
Let's go there.
Did that work with you? Okay. Tennessee, home against Kentucky. Tennessee is giving 12.5 points.
Yeah.
Who you got in that one? And
I will
Who you got and why?
Tennessee to cover the 12.5.
Okay.
They have the most dynamic offense, I think, and definitely in the SEC. And it's between them and Ohio State for the country. I just think that SEC. I think I had been underrating Kentucky. Their defense is very, very stout, and they have one of the best running backs in the conference in Chris Rodriguez. The problem is I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball very much. Just how explosive Tennessee's offense is. Kentucky's going to be in a shootout. They're going to have to pass the ball. And the one thing that Tennessee does well defensively is they can get after the passer. So if Tennessee can go up big and their defensive line can pin their ears back and rush the passer, I like Tennessee to go up big and stay up big.
I agree with you. I think it will be a high-scoring game for Tennessee. Kentucky has the potential to score some points, but if you get Tennessee into a scoring match, 12 points may not be a lot. So 12 and a half. So we're both on the same page with the 12 and a half.
Okay.
I'll pick first the next one. Okay.
Georgia and Florida. Who you got?
What they call that game? Is that a neutral site?
The world's largest cocktail party?
Yeah, the world's largest
Although Kirby Smart said for recruiting purposes he would like to see that moved. I guess the contract expires in 2023, but every year since 1933 it has been in Jacksonville with the exception of a couple years in the 90s.
Okay. I like Florida to cover.
So we're on the same page for 2 games in a row.
You are too. Okay.
Florida hasn't lost any game this year by more than 10. And as well as Stetson Bennett has played, he's 3rd in the SEC in passing. That offensive line for Georgia is not the same. And Florida does have some pass rushers. They have Anthony Richardson. If they can just hold on to the ball, I don't expect it to be, I think both teams are going to want to run the ball, even though Stetson Bennett is 3rd in the conference in passing. I think both teams are going to want to run the ball. And I think Georgia wins, but I don't think, enough points are scored.
No, Bennett started the season out really, really hot. He was 1st in the quarterback rankings in the SEC for a long time, but others have caught up with him.
Yeah.
Let's move to Auburn. Auburn will be hosting Arkansas.
Yeah.
Auburn is a 3.5 point favorite. The bookies in Vegas got drunk one night and decided to.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
Auburn is a favorite, 3.5 points.
No, I thought Arkansas was a 3.5 point favorite.
No, it's Auburn.
Okay.
I double checked again. As a matter of fact.
Well, it's possible whatever I was looking at just had the wrong plus or minus sign, and I thought Auburn was a 3.5 point dog. So that might change my outcome a little bit.
Well, I'm going to say this about Auburn. Auburn has played some good teams good, but their offense, I don't think can keep up with Arkansas's offense. Arkansas's offense, when they roll in, they can be unstoppable.
They have the leading rusher in the conference with Raheem Sanders, and they have another. Their quarterback is actually top 20 in rushing as well, and he has a 14-1 touchdown interception ratio.
Yeah, and he's good. We got to talk about Arkansas's quarterback.
Oh, we absolutely do. Yeah, we absolutely
on
do.
the record, because you and I, while we agree on some things, we're not so agree on other things.
Well, I'm kind of surprised you even were willing to admit he was good.
He's really good. Didn't I have him winning the Heisman Trophy before the season started?
Well, we've had other conversations more recently, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay, I'm taking Arkansas. I'm taking the 3.5 points in Arkansas, and Arkansas win outright. I should be given 3.5 points.
I thought Auburn was 3.5 point dogs. I was going to take them to cover. I wasn't necessarily going to take Auburn to win. But if it's a situation where Arkansas is a 3.5 point dog, I think I'm going to have to take Arkansas.
So I
think it's going to be a close game, a 3-point game either way. I think home field will matter a lot. I do know Auburn's players do like Brian Harsin, even if their fans and boosters don't, and he'll probably be gone at the end of the season. They're playing hard for him right now.
If you are an Auburn fan, who do you root for? Because if Auburn lose, that means it increases the possibility you're going to have a new coach, and they want a new coach.
I would root for Auburn.
Okay.
I would root for Auburn, but I would root for Arkansas to lose the game more so than Auburn to win it. I wouldn't want the coach to look good.
Before we move on, and I'm going to go that, will Auburn coach be back next year?
No.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the Big 10.
Let's do it.
The Big Ten. The surprise of the Big Ten. One lost Illinois at Nebraska. Illinois is giving 7.5 points. Who go first this time? You or me?
I saw 7. But it's moved to 7.5.
I looked at it 3 minutes ago.
Okay.
Well, 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, we don't have the same sports book. I almost always do FanDuel, and you do what sports book do you look at?
I don't know the name of the sport book really. I go to CBS Sports.
Oh, okay. I see.
Whatever bookie service they use.
Well, 7.5. Either way, I was going to take Nebraska to cover. I just think, look, I know Illinois they lead the nation in on defense in yards given up and points given up. They average under 10 point. Opponents score less than 10 points against them. I can't remember the exact yardage, but they're number 1 in the nation in the amount of yards they give up. They also have a running back, Chase Brown, who leads the nation in rushing. So, the defense travels, the running game travels. And I understand that they're going to be in Nebraska, but if Nebraska has any semblance of pride, I think Illinois will still win the game. But I just think 7 points is a lot for a team that doesn't score.
I'm saying 7.5. You know what, JJ? You convinced me. I was kind of tossed on that one, but I'm going with the Cornhuskers.
Okay.
You're pretty persuasive. Did you know that?
Well, no, I didn't think that you would actually. It's honestly quite odd for us to be in agreement so much.
Okay, the Big Ten is stepping it up. We're going to step it up for the game, the competition.
Okay, so who do you have for Ohio State and Penn State?
That's what I'm getting at. Ohio State is at Penn State.
They are.
Ohio State is giving 15.5 points.
Mm-hmm. Who do you got?
Ohio State got an offense that doesn't wait. I'm going to go with Penn State. Penn State, they flopped big time against Michigan. Will they do it again against a Big Ten team? I'm going to say no. I'm going to take 15.5 points. I'm taking Penn State.
Okay.
And the 15.5 points.
And we have some disagreement, and I will be taking Ohio State. I think they're the best team in the country. Jackson Smith and Jigba is supposed to be back, and Marvin Harrison. And their two-headed monster at running back, and the Heisman Trophy winner, the future Heisman Trophy winner, C.J. Stroud. I'm going to take Ohio State.
What about the fan?
Yeah, they're going to be disappointed.
Okay. They won't be turning down no goal post, throwing it in no river or nothing like that.
No, they might just be looking at what what the buyout might be.
Okay.
For James Franklin.
The big game.
Okay.
The big game in the Big Ten. My Spartans have to go to A squared, Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
My Spartans are getting 22.5 points.
And they're on a 2-game winning streak against Michigan State.
And JJ, if I were to ask you of these two teams, which one has won 10 of the last 14 games, who would you say?
Well, I live in Michigan and watch football, so I'd say Michigan State.
Indeed. Who do you think people outside the Big Ten would say if we were to ask them who's won 10 of the last 14 Michigan State games?
The bigger brand, Michigan.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to say that just so that I can say that, it's rolling Michigan State way.
Is it? Okay.
They won 2 of the last 2 games against Michigan.
They absolutely did.
Okay. JJ, who would you want coaching your team in this game? Mel Tucker or Jim Harbaugh?
Jim Harbaugh.
Okay. You don't want big money Mel?
No, Jim Harbaugh is 3-4 against Michigan State. Or is it 3-3 or 3-4? Has he been there 7 years or 6?
I think this is 7th.
Okay. Well, I know he does not have a winning record against Michigan State. It's either
and I may be wrong, but I think this is year 7 for him.
I can't remember. I thought he had a 3-4 record, but it might be a 3-3 record. But I'm taking Michigan.
Mel Tucker has a 2-0 record.
He absolutely
So
does.
you're giving 22.5 points.
No. I'm taking Michigan State to cover. If they have any respect, they will lose by 21 points. Michigan State's going to lose the game. That's to be guaranteed. But they have to pull out every stop in this game. This is their season. This and making the bowl game.
JJ, I'm going to say this. I think it was 2020. Michigan State went to Ann Arbor.
Mm-hmm. The COVID year.
Both teams had a losing record, I believe, that year.
Oh yeah.
But Michigan State was a 20-ish point underdog in that game. Guess who won?
Michigan State.
Lightning getting ready to strike twice. Don't you love it, America?
Oh, I am going to love this game.
Don't you love it when Lightning strike twice? Michigan State, that's my pick. And JJ, you picking Michigan State too, huh?
Honestly, it's a stay away. I just don't want to. As a Michigan fan, I wouldn't want to jinx them or anything like that. I wouldn't bet on this game, but Michigan's going to win the game. I would think Michigan State could cover. That's more than 3 touchdowns. I would expect Michigan State in a rivalry game. You're going to pull out all the stops. This game is, if you can win this game, they're in a good line to being bowl eligible. If they don't win this game, bowl eligibility becomes really difficult for Michigan State. So I'm gonna say Michigan State covers the 22.5 and they lose by 3 touchdowns.
I'm gonna say Michigan State win.
Wait! Michigan State wins the game?
That's what I'm gonna say.
Oh, you're going on the record as Michigan State wins the game. Okay. Well, I can't wait for next week.
You heard it here, America. Michigan State win. JJ, we're gonna get out of here. Anything you want to say before we go?
Who they?
WPS.
Back on top in the AFC North.
We'll pick so. We out of here.
All right.
All right.